Welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa Caprio. Do you believe in magic? What if you were told that all you had to do was get a little creative and work a magic spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Here on Postcards to the Universe, we will share manifesting, tips, postcards, creativity, abundance, and prosperity. Here is your host, Melissa Caprio.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. It's a Wednesday. Oh God, I love Wednesdays so much. I love doing my show. I hope you guys are doing well who's listening, and I have a really cool show today. I have psychic medium, hypnotherapist, Reiki healer, Ginger Bayley, and she's going to join me in just a few minutes. And she does even so much more than that, but you'll hear all about her when I read her bio in just a few. I want to give a shout out to all my regulars who listen to me each week. Thank you guys so much for your notes and your comments, and just letting me know that you enjoy the show and you like who I have on. It really means a lot to me. But if you're tuning in to me for the first time, I hope you keep returning, and I want to give you a warm welcome. Thanks so much for being here with me today. And you can always catch a show. We record the show live every week, but you can always catch the show on a replay on OMTimes Radio, or I also put it up on my website, Postcards to the Universe. So you can always find a show to listen. And I have so many interesting guests each week. It's like I meet the coolest people. So let me tell you a little bit about me if you are just joining for the first time. I'm an artist, I'm a photographer, and I'm also an author, and I have a book, and it's titled Postcards to the Universe, Harness the Universe's Power and Manifest Your Dreams. And my book, it's been now 3.5 years it came out. It came out right before COVID. But in the book, so the way that I did it is I had people create a manifesting postcard, and a manifesting postcard is kind of like a little mini vision board about what they wanted to bring into their life. So they would send me the postcard, or at workshops that I was doing, they would create a postcard. And when their manifestation showed up in their reality, I would photograph the card, and next to it, I would include their story about how it manifested. And it was really fun to put together. So there's 30 manifesting stories in the book. So I love doing it, and I love getting the postcards. And I broke down the book in 4 sections: love, money, health, career, because those are the main areas. We always want more abundance, right? And I have a whole bunch of writing exercises, and it helps us get clear on what it is we want to manifest. And then I have a toolbox full of fun practices that you could do to manifest more love or money or better health. So that is the way the book is laid out. It's meant to be fun and, just play around with it. So if you're interested, I hope you are. You can get it at, of course, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or you can ask your local bookstore, and if it's not there, they will order it for you. Each week, I ask for people to send me a manifesting postcard. So please do, if you're interested. They're a lot of fun to make. And if you are like, well, I don't know what to do, go to postcardstotheuniverse.com, my website. I tell you exactly how to set the space to create a manifesting postcard and the address to send it. Just let me know if you do send it so I know I can look out for it. I love getting them. I get so excited when I go to the mailbox and see postcards in there. It's just such powerful stuff when you do it, because you get into that creative space. So if you have questions about it, you can always just reach out and ask me. If you like Facebook, I have a public Facebook group called Postcards of Love. We share like funny and uplifting stuff. So it's all light and good and fun stuff. And I wanted to mention something else. If you do like what I'm doing and you sign up for Join My Movement, I have a couple of free gifts for you. So I have a manifesting 8 steps to manifesting guide there that gets sent to your inbox, and more information on the postcards. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys over there. So I've been talking, now weeks, because I started doing a workshop again. and I've been mentioning it at the beginning of every show. It's a manifesting through gratitude, a visual journey, and it runs Thursday evenings, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, and they're 5 weeks. So they keep cycling over. I start over again after one completes. They're small groups. It's online, so you could do it from your house. And it's all about using gratitude to manifest, because I have found that one of the most powerful ways and fastest ways to manifest those things we want is through gratitude. And I broke that down into, like the book, major sections of our lives. So the first week we work on our worthiness, our how we feel about ourselves, because we need that as the foundation to build on top of everything else. There's a section on love. There's a section on money. There's a section on our health. And then at the very last class, it's all open Q&A, questions, anything that came up for anybody. But what's really cool about this workshop is we're going to be using our camera phones as a tool for gratitude. So I give a whole bunch of photo prompts each week that we're going to be taking photographs of things that are already in our existence to kind of like get us into that energy of gratitude. And I'm going to have my students make a manifesting postcard each week on a specific area of your life. And when I say love, it's not necessarily romantic. It could be friendship. It could be mothers and fathers, kids, siblings, friends. It doesn't matter. Even coworkers. So it's going to be really interactive. It's a lot of fun. And I think it's really important work. I've been doing it for a long time, and I know that it works. So I hope that you will really consider doing this for yourself and joining me. And to find out more about it, you can go to Find, uniquely, the letter u.com/Melissa Caprio. I also have it on my website, Postcards to the Universe, and that'll take you to the workshop and to sign up. And you're going to have a beautiful visual gratitude journal at the end of the course, so it'll be a lot of fun. All right. Each week I share a magical message. I post them on my social medias, and it's an image of a manifesting postcard or a card that I find that has an affirmation that I love, because I love affirmations. I think they're very powerful. I've been using them for years, and it's become a new belief in our lives. So this week's magical message is you matter. You matter. So just let that sit. And that's why the first week of the gratitude course is about our self-worth, because we have to feel worthy inside to deserve all those things that we want. Whether it's money, it's love, it's our health, we have to feel we deserve it. So it's to remind us how we matter, right? Talk to yourself like you would talk to a loved one. All right, so let me get to my guest today. She's super, super cool. We kind of know each other now. Love Ginger. So Ginger Bayley, she's a psychic medium, a hypnotherapist, a Reiki healer, nutritionist, personal trainer, and weight management coach. And this is what she says. She says, I have always been drawn to help others and decided to start tuning into my psychic abilities and connection to the spirit world. I had known my whole life that I was a strong empath and psychic, but did not know I was a medium. It wasn't until my father passed away in 2018 that I started to see and hear him, along with my guide, Erik. Months later, I met my other guide, Rudy. From there, with Erik and Rudy by my side, I started doing readings, and my psychic medium skills became stronger. My goal is to bring some of the peace and happiness that exists there to those here who need spiritual healing and guidance. Perception is an individual experience, and spiritual understanding can explain why traditionally, quote unquote, bad things seem to happen in this world. Being able to connect to the spirit world is a natural ability we are all born with. It's just a matter of remembering how, giving you peace of mind during your journey here on earth, connecting you with your loved ones who have passed, bringing you love messages, and share with you what happens after life ends in the physical world. So if you want to learn more about Ginger, you can go over to her website. It's Ginger Bayley Psychic Medium, and I'm going to spell her name, Ginge. ERBAYLEY, psychicmedium.com. Welcome, Ginger. Thanks for being here with me today.
Thank you, Melissa.
I'm
really
excited to talk to you.
I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun. So I'm going to let you, in your own words, tell everybody who's listening, like how you started and how you connected, because you talk about Erik, because you do this whole thing, channeling Erik, so you can let us know what that is, and Rudy, like how that all came about for you.
Okay, so after my father had transitioned, I actually it happened a little bit before that. I was recording like with a video recorder this puppy that my mom had just got him. And for the first time ever, I knew what orbs were, seeing them on TV, but first time ever, I started seeing orbs coming into this video as I was doing it. And I was just like, something just hit me like, what? So then what happened was I started like looking at videos about orbs and looking at spiritual things online, and I found Channeling Erik. And that's a YouTube channel that, it's about spiritual guidance also. And I started watching that, just learning what I could about the spiritual side of things. And so then after my father had passed and I started, seeing and hearing him, I kind of felt like, well, I really want to help people. I've always done work to where I help people, but I'd like to do it like from a spiritual point of view. So I just started, learning how to tune more into my psychic abilities and doing readings so it would get stronger, because that's how it works, for anybody if they want to do this. You just have to practice. And,
you have to practice, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so how did the Erik, so can you tell everybody what Channeling Erik is and like how that came about? Because you do that on the regular. Yeah. People can find you on that all the time. So explain how Erik came about.
Okay, so once I started seeing those videos, I don't know, I was just drawn to, I know now that he was guiding me to it, okay?
Right, of course.
So, but at the time I didn't. So what Channeling Erik is, Elisa Medhus, MD, she's a doctor, she had her own medical practice. She lost her son in 2009, I think it was, and it's a suicide. She started a blog, and it was really started out really just to help her heal, to write and help other people who are going through the same thing. And it ended up turning into a video when she met, like a video blog, like a blog, once she met the first medium that she'd ever talked to. And so they decided to start doing a show. Every day, I guess it was, they're just making videos and talking to Erik, actually. So channeling Erik and bringing him in, and then they would come up with topics to talk about, like what's it going to be like in 1,000 years, any kind of topic, Bigfoot, anything you can think of. They would channel from the other side, and because Erik has access, obviously, from a spiritual point of view, to, most everything, for answers to things that people here in physical want to know. So that's how it got started. And then when I got connected with Elisa, she started, she asked me if I wanted to do videos, and I started doing it with her. So that's how I came to be on Channeling Erik.
So now Erik comes to you, though, even when you're not doing the show, right? Like you just talk to Erik and you're like, hey, Erik, and he just like shows up for you.
Yeah. So for everybody, I have to say for everybody has at least one guide in their life, okay? From birth until transition, everyone has one guide helping them on this incarnation. It's usually somebody who was in another life with them, not someone they know in this life. And we decide this before we're born, who's going to come with us, through this life and help us. Erik is making big changes and big differences, and he actually guides a lot of people. Since Channeling Erik started, anyone who follows the blog along or is a part of Channeling Erik, he pranks. He lets them know he's around. He helps them in any way he can. So he is my permanent guide, and I have other guides, of course. And I turn to those guides when I'm doing readings. I don't do a reading without them. That's my sidekick. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. Now, a little bit about Rudy. I know more about Erik than I know about Rudy. So, who is Rudy? Is Rudy a guy that's been with you for your whole life? Was he ever in Earth? Was he ever on Earth? Or okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he was. He was on Earth, and a part of my soul family. We all have soul families, so there were other lives that I had with him. The way I found out about him was before I started doing this, and I was first starting to watch Channeling Erik, the other mediums that they have. There was one of them there, her name was Jennifer, and she kind of helped me and guided me as I was learning to do this, kind of like a mentor. And she's the one who introduced me to my guide. I knew he was there, but she helped me, know him more. And so he is a guide too. I use Erik. Erik is like more in my life with helping with this, but Rudy's also there. I don't have to call him; he just automatically helps. He came into my life when I started having my spiritual awakening and started doing, this, and that was probably, I'd say, about 5 or 6 years ago. And he was mostly there for that. So we'll have also guides that come and go in our lives of whatever's going on with us and help us with that. So, and then you have one that stays with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't know if I'd known that before, that certain guides come in only temporarily to help you and then they move on, but you have your guide who stays with you. So in your bio, you always said you knew you were psychic. Now tell for people, a lot of people who listen to my show know know what a psychic medium is compared to like somebody who's psychic. So can you just tell us, and for those who are listening and they're like, well, what does that mean? Like, what does she mean when she says she's a psychic medium? What is that?
Okay, so throughout my whole life, even when I was very little, I just knew things. I knew things about the spirit world. I knew things about, people. I would meet people and I just know things about them. I didn't know how. I just thought that I was really intuitive, but I didn't know what that meant when I was littler. But throughout my life, I would just know things, and I never really put the word psychic with it, because I never really was. I didn't follow that kind of thing throughout my life. I just wasn't. So a psychic, I'll tell you the difference here. There really isn't a difference, but the way some people separate it is, psychic would be just you're tuning into energies of people around you, tuning into energies of things in the physical, and everything has an energy to it, right?
Sure.
So medium is more tuning into those on the other side, loved ones who have passed, spirits on the other side. But some people think, and I've heard this said it this way, that if you're a medium, you're a psychic, but if you're a psychic, you're not always a medium. But I kind of disagree in a way, because I think they just don't title it as a medium. Because they're, they're actually talking to a spirit if they have a spirit guide, so you really are, doing mediumship. So some just don't, look at it that way. So psychic medium is just somebody who, brings spiritual information from the spirit world and connects with loved ones who've crossed.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and then probably some aren't as strong in their mediumship skills if they're not doing it all the time. Like now you're doing it all the time. So you're, like you said, it's like anything else. We're all psychic. A lot of us close down to that. But I think more and more people are awakening to it. So how do you personally receive your messages from spirit? Because I know everybody's different. I've had other psychics on, other mediums on, and everybody channels information in different ways. So how do you do it?
Okay, so everyone has what's called the clairs. Okay, like the clairvoyant is clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, and then you have the claircognizance, which is just thoughts coming into your mind, right? And then you have the clairsentient, which is that gut feeling you get, where you just know something's not right. So we all have that, all of us. Those are your spiritual senses, like you would see your senses, like your physical senses, right? You see, smell, taste. So what I do is I have mostly the claircognizance, where I just get the thoughts just come into my mind, and they just come right back out when I just talk, like just channel it through. And I use all of my clairs. That's probably one of my strongest. And then the clairsentient, where I just get that feeling, and I just have the feeling. And those are my two strongest. But I do hear and I do see things. I can see loved ones that have crossed. I hear words like when they're trying to give me information. So how it works is I will get it from all of those, right? So I'm hearing something, seeing something, then I get a thought and a feeling and put all that together and translate it for, like if I'm doing a session, you know.
Right,
so
when you're working
it works,
somebody.
yeah, it works like that. And you know what? What I have to say is that most people everybody, I'm going to say everybody, channels. Everybody does.
Okay.
And most of the time, if you're not having an active thought of your own, you're not actively trying to think it, and you're getting thoughts and ideas, that's usually your guide. Your guide is channeling that information into you. So it's just a matter of learning to focus on that.
Yeah, and asking yourself the question, why am I having this thought? Where did it come from, right?
Yeah,
I think my strongest is I'm definitely clairsentient. Like I just know, I can just feel things very strongly about,
I would
especially
agree.
about other people. So I think that's my stronger, but I notice as I've gotten older and I've become more and more connected that the thoughts are popping in and I'm starting every once in a while to see things. Which is really kind of can freak you out a little bit, you know.
It can if you're not used to it. You're right, you know. But here's another thing too. This is becoming more mainstream, and the vibration of the planet is raising, and so more people. And so I don't know. It's like the chicken and the egg. What comes first? Is everybody waking up because the vibration's going up, or is the vibration going up because everybody's starting to wake up? But either way, it's happening. So,
I love that. I love that. Thank you for saying that because we need to be reminded of that, right? On the daily when we see so many terrible things, we're like, what's happening?
Right.
Do you only connect with people who have passed over, or do you also get messages from like angels or other spirit realms, you know, like we hear that a lot of people are connecting to other realms now too.
Yeah, anything that's in spirit and any aliens, you know, that are in spirit, I can connect with. I will tell you that since I've been doing this, I have found that there are so many planets in this universe that have people like us on them, maybe at different levels, you know, of spiritual growth. But, you know, there's just so many different they're still alien, even if, you know, they don't look like a gray. They're still an alien, but there's so many of them. And so I can connect with, you know, anybody who's in spirit, anything that's in spirit, and angels too, of course. Yes.
Oh, wow. Like, so if somebody wanted to have a session with you and wanted to talk to, say, one of their archangels that they feel connected to, they could do that. Oh, okay. That's really cool. Yes. And I do know about the aliens more and more because I have a guest and he actually, and it just fell that way. He was actually on my show last week. He removes himself and I speak to the channeled. So last week it was, the Venusians and the Syrians came through, and that's who I asked the questions to. So he's been doing that kind of work, Gregory Possman, for years, and he removes himself, like he's gone. You know, so it's so interesting how everybody's different the way that they connect.
Right. That's physical. That's physical channeling. There's a few people I've seen do that. It's pretty cool to watch. It is really cool. It's really cool to watch. And he just keeps going and going, and he never pauses and has to like catch a thought because I'm not speaking to him anymore. It's cool. Right? I love it. So how do you, I guess the question is, okay, now that spirits know, I mean, I don't know, this is my own interpretation. I feel like if a spirit can see a beacon of light on Earth that can connect to them, they won't leave you alone because not all of us have been able to master that. So, like, are you getting, like, bombarded on a regular basis? Like, how do you protect yourself so that you're not being woken up throughout the night or they're not popping in the shower with you? No. This is where you need to set boundaries. I set boundaries. So we are in the physical form, and we have the say-so over anything spiritual. Okay. Anything that is out there, you have the say-so whether it comes in or it doesn't come in. But my guides, that's what my guides are. I kind of call them a gatekeeper too. You know, they keep things at bay, and only what is needed is allowed in. And I'll open that up before each session. I just kind of like encircle my session with divine light. It's like a visual, verbal thing I do. Love and light is the only welcome, things like that. And then my guides take care of the rest. So I don't get, I know there are some people that do, but if you set your boundaries, and, you won't have that problem. So,
yeah, because it's really, like, you want to shut your phone off sometimes, right? You don't want to be bothered. Right. So sometimes you need your own personal space.
It's just it's the way you set it up too. And there might be people who there are people I know that work. Matter of fact, a friend of mine works in healing where she will remove lower level energies from people. Maybe they're feeling down and stuff. She has a little bit more of that she deals with, where she'll be get unannounced visits, because it's kind of it's teaching her. Everything that happens to us is teaching. It's teaching her how to deal with it, but it doesn't always mean it's going to be comfortable. So things happen for a reason. Everything happens to teach you for growth.
Yeah, no, that's so fascinating. And I did want to ask about, if there are darker spirits, if there are energies, if there is all that stuff that is affecting us. But I don't want to get into that right this second, because I see we're going to be coming up to the break. So I don't want to pause you in the middle of your answer. And then I want to talk. And then I want to tell about how you and I connected, and how you channeled my sister Tony, which is really cool. All right. So let's take our break here, and then we'll come back in just a few minutes, and we'll continue our conversation. So guys, stay tuned, and we're going to talk with Ginger some more. Stay tuned.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Everyone has a story. I have a story. You have a story. We all have a story. As I see it, you have three choices. Allow your story to define you, use it to excuse you, or utilize it as a method to empower you. It's your life. You have the power. You choose. Rewrite your story on finduniquelyyou.com.
Imagine yourself being transported to India, to the banks of the Ganga and an ashram in Rishikesh. Visualize that you are welcome to satsang with an American sannyasi who shares the wisdom of her guru. Your visualization has manifested. Join Sattvi Bhagawati Saraswati for inspiration and transformation every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
Hi, I'm Melissa Caprio from Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave. Do you believe in magic? What if I told you all you had to do was get a little creative and work a dream spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Well, guess what? I've got the spell for you. Postcards to the Universe, a global movement for manifestation, is a casting magical tool for you to use whenever you want. How does living in passion sound to you? Join me in my movement where you get to create in the magical playground. Let's think outside the box and do some playful conjuring. By casting out our desires with a manifesting postcard, we explore our hearts and allow the alchemy of our dreams to appear. And don't forget to tune in each week here on OMTimes Radio with my show, Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I share tips on creativity, abundance, and prosperity, and you will be introduced to the coolest guests, trailblazers, mystics, and creatives who enrich our lives. Hey welcome back. So if you're just joining me, I have psychic medium, hypnotherapist, Reiki healer, nutritionist, personal trainer, and weight management coach, Ginger Bayley, with me today. And we were talking about spirits. And I asked a question, Ginger, right before the break. Are there dark spirits? Are there bad energies? You know, we see these horror movies and we see these stories, and it's like, is that true? I mean, can people get possessed by dark spirits?
So it's not like the movies. So we have to have both ends of the spectrum. Okay, we have to have, like, you can't know dark unless you know light. You can't know light unless you know dark. That kind of thing. Okay. So there is a lower level set of energies on the other side. It's not though like they portray like in religion, you know, with demons, demonic, scary like that. Now there may be some that come across that way and show themselves that way, but everything is really just energy. It doesn't have a form. And the reason why that would happen is because they kind of feed on depression, the lower level emotions, you know, like sadness and stuff. But somebody being like possessed is it's so rare. So rare. Most of the time it's a life contract. Okay, we have contracts before we come into this life. And that's usually something that's planned ahead of time. And again, it's for people to learn from, because you learn from everything, no matter how bad it may seem. So there are, but they're not like it shows it in the movies. It's very rare to have somebody be, you know, attacked or
oh my God,
intruded on.
Well, you hear those places, you know, like those haunted houses, and people go in, and so I guess if something traumatic happened, you're going to feel, and you're sensitive. You may be tapping in and tuning into the energies of whatever trauma happened at the environment, the location that you're at. Maybe, you know, that you're feeling that.
Right. Yeah, because there are residual energies too, and things that like PK energies they call them, and all those are created by emotions or trauma, or like say somebody was hurt, you know, or killed very traumatically. That can leave an imprint in the energy there in the universe, and that's like a residual thing, and you can feel that too. So you know, it just depends on what's happening and what happens, you know, before. So it's also, God, there's so much we don't know yet. I love discovering. I know.
So Ginger, the way I met Ginger was my one sister, my other sister she watches Channeling Erik religiously, and she connected with you and did a reading, and then you did a reading with my mom. I was present for that, so I didn't personally have the reading with you, but I was present, and it had a lot to do with my sister Tony, who passed away, and everybody who listens to me knows I talk about her a lot. Last year she passed away. She was special needs, and it was incredible the way that you described my sister. So I'm just going to let you share like how Tony popped through, because so much of what Ginger said was so straight on my sister's human personality that she was showing her, that she would never have known, because you didn't know our family at all. You had no idea who we were. So go ahead. I'll let you share a little bit.
Okay, so when spirits come through to me, they'll come through to me as their regular energy on the other side, because, of course, when we come into the physical, whatever we are, whatever's happening in our life, whether you're special needs or anything, it's just here in the physical. But they will come through and show me things, so I know that about them and who they were in this life, to bring through validation for the loved ones that are wanting to connect with them, and to show that I am connected with their loved one. So Tony, she came through, well, you know, she's very strong. And I feel like she had very strong energy when she was here, too. So she came through and very excited. She just brought in things like that she enjoyed. She actually would play music. I could hear music in my head. She loves music. She would play music. She loves it. And she talked about how healing it was for her, right? And right before this show, she's jumping up and down, so excited, clapping her hands. And she's just, she can't stand still. She can't stand still. She's like kind of pacing a little bit. But she has a message for you, and she wants me to tell you that it's just a little message. She wants you to know how thankful she is and was that you were her big sister. And even though it may not have seemed like she was, picking up on a lot of things that you set the example for, she did. She's seen it, and she's very appreciative of it. And she loved having you for her big sister, she said. She just said that just now. And she's really loves her family and is very thankful that she was with, everyone within your family, because everybody looked out for her and she felt very safe. And that was important, because there was a lot of unsafe feelings that she would have, without an unsafe environment. It was just how she felt. So, so she's just very thankful.
Aw, thanks, T. Yeah, Tony, the way you describe her, well, she could never sit still, ever. Never. And she's full of love, full of love. She hugs everybody, even strangers. Yeah. That's like, my mom would always have to say, Tony, you can't just hug people that, she's very loving. And music was her thing. Like, she must have gone through a million cassette, like with the CDs. We used to give her the CDs with the earphones and the radios. Yeah. She must have broken 1,000 of them because she loves it, and she's bouncy, and that's just her strong. And she's so strong, and we've got tons of signs. We get tons of signs from Tony all the time. She's very. Whatever she's doing over there, whatever work she's continuing to do, she's very powerful energy. And I talk to her constantly. I'm always talking to her. So
she hears you. Yeah, she hears you.
Yeah, and I feel she does. And I talk to her like if she was right next to me. So it's good. And it was very healing what Ginger did, especially for my mother, who is, of all of us, having the hardest time because she's taking care of a special needs child. You take care of a special needs child, they don't mature at the level of somebody who isn't special needs. So it's like you're constant. I would say like a 10-year-old. Like, imagine having a 10-year-old for 50 years. Like, they never, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, she was like an eternal kid.
So
they were very, very connected, and I know they have a life contract together. So it was very healing, and I know my mom got a lot out of it. So Ginger really knows how to, she's open to whoever, for people listening who may be struggling with a loved one who passed on, who wants to do a reading. I highly recommend her. My sister works with you in your coaching. You also do coaching. My other sister. Yeah. My sister works with you coaching. So why don't you share a little bit about what your coaching, looks like and stuff for those listening? Because you're the first psychic medium that I've ever talked to who does weight management, nutrition, and coaching.
Yeah.
Usually they don't go together.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, this is funny about that. So that's what I was doing before I started doing this. And my guide, Erik, he's the one who talked me into doing it. And he's like, you need to combine the two. That's needed right now. You need to combine the two. So I thought, well, what? Like, he's like explaining it to me, and I'm having this conversation with him. And he said, if you're bringing things from a spiritual point of view, it really helps, So I can tune into people's systems. This is the fitness nutrition one. I can tune into their systems. I also can connect with their guides and my guides to get guidance on what they need, with the fitness nutrition on a unique level, just for them uniquely, individually. And so that's why I do the fitness and nutrition and combined it with the spiritual part of things, because it really seems to work good. And I also do an outline with that, like depending on what, the person's needing. And they also get an outline afterwards that has a whole workout on it and other good information. And then the coaching, the life coaching that I'm doing, that's, counseling in a way, but it's coming from spirit, from their guides, my guides, and it's just spiritual guidance, and it seems to be, really helpful to do it that way.
That makes sense, especially if you can talk to your clients, your guide, and you can connect with the client's guide. They may be getting, you're getting hits on things that the person isn't aware of, that maybe there's going on with them, in their physical body or their health or their emotional body, whatever it is that they're not seeing. So it makes sense now that I can see it put together, why Erik would tell you, what are you doing? Put them together.
Yeah. And those are two separate things. I have the fitness nutrition, and then I have life coaching where I can do just one life coaching session, because some people may just want one, or I also have a life coaching package that I do where it's a minimum of 2, but you don't pay for it all at once. You just pay for each one as you schedule it. So, and then the fitness nutrition is actually like just a separate one by itself. And then I do like a regular psychic medium sessions, which I have a sale on right now for the 60-minute one. And I also started out with just a couple things when I first started doing this, but so they started like growing. So I also do mediumship training. So, and I have a package on that, or a one-time thing where you can do like 3 sessions with me and learn how to do this yourself. So
that's really interesting. Yeah. I think I have a cousin who has dreams about people who come to her all the time pass on, and I tell her it would come easier for her because there's something that's already open. She's afraid of it. She's like, maybe down the line, and I'm like, you would be fantastic because it happens to her all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, fear is a big stopper.
Yeah. So with the channeling Erik, and you said that Erik's mom, obviously she lost her son to suicide, and it's interesting that suicide came up because, the way that we look at suicide obviously is shameful. We don't understand mental illness. People, if you're very religious, it's a sin. You don't get to go to the other realm. You have to live it over again. So what is that? Like, was this part of Erik's plan so that he could be this helpful on the other side, that he had to exit his life early by his own hand?
Yeah, it was part of his plan. We have these, they call them contracts. I like to call it like journey plan, that we plan what we're going to go through when we come in. We do have free will, and that's how we get to those different goals that we've set for ourselves. And, it makes a difference how that works out. But for Erik, that is, and I don't have anything against religion, but that is kind of a religious concept that you have to live the thing, and it's a sin. So with Erik, he had this set ahead of time. Now the only difference would have been is the free will changed when it happened. So there was other exit points he had, but this was the exit point he ended up taking due to free will. But yes, he did do this. This was a plan, so him and his mother could work together to help people wake up, help people through hard times, just with anything spiritual, because that's what this channel does. It really helps give a spiritual view on all things, even life, worldviews, life things that are happening and things in the world.
That's a good segue. That's a good segue. Go ahead, because I was going to ask you what Erik's projections are for us, for the world. But go ahead, finish what your sentence is going to be.
I was just going to say, Erik doesn't believe in good or bad, quote unquote, on those words. It's more positive, negative, because every single thing we go through, especially the hard times, is where we grow the most. And that's why we choose to come to this planet, because it's the heaviest. And you get the most growth. So
that's what they keep saying, and I'm like, oh geez, can't we all grow already?
I know. Like, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have planned that for myself, right?
So what is Erik's vision, or what does he tell you about you mentioned early that we are our energy, we are rising our energy, but what is his projection for humanity in this planet? Like, what is he telling you?
So years down the road, this is few hundred years, okay? I give you this. So we get more spiritual. We get more connected. Everybody's connected. That's the collective, right? We're all connected spiritually. But we get more connected, like physically. With our minds, it's a spiritual and an emotional and mental thing that we're connected. We're not physically connected with our bodies, but, we can read each other's minds, but not like, oh, I'm going to read your mind and it's crossing a boundary where you didn't want me to. It's more of just the communication gets better. And things will be on a more spiritual level. Technology is going to change a lot to where you'll still have the technology, but it's going to be moved more towards a spiritual direction.
Okay.
So there will always be conflict on this planet, because that's what this planet was created for, to, have the conflict for the growth. But it's not going to be as much. So it does get easier in the future, and we get better. We get more spiritual and more connected to where there'll be more people being able to, get their own spiritual answers on their own. So
okay, so then how do we handle the stuff that we're seeing that's so toxic, that's so painful, that's so negative, that's so fearful? What should we be doing for us that are alive now who aren't going to be here in hundreds of years?
Right. Okay.
Or, we might be in another form, I don't know, but as of, this form, we won't be, right? So what do we do? Right.
There will be incarnation. We'll all reincarnate, a few times towards the future. But for now, in this lifetime, things have to happen for understanding, teaching, growth. It teaches us how to, react and act towards things. There's just so many little things that we learn from the toxicity that's going on. If you look towards the past and how things do go up, it's like a roller coaster. They go up and down, up and down. They get toxic, they get a little better. They get toxic, they get a little better. It's going to still be like that. So it will eventually move back up to be a little better, and then, of course, it'll go back down. And that's just how society works, because that's what we need. That's what we need for the human experience, is to have conflict, to have sickness, to have, but we also have good things. And it's important to focus on those things, instead of just the negative. It's important to focus on positive things too, because we do have both. So you have to have a variety. You have to have variety, duality. You have to have a spectrum of those things to, grow spiritually.
Yeah. So we're collectively manifesting what our experiences are by our own evolution. Right. Okay.
Right. You actually, you said it, that was a way better way of saying it.
Well, I do talk about manifestation a lot, so I'm used to the verbiage.
I know.
But that's what I believe. Good. That's what I believe personally, that collectively we are together manifesting the world that we live in. So that's why I try, and I'm not always successful, but try to be very conscious of where my thoughts, my words, my actions are, because I don't want to project more negativity into the world. That's why I stay away from the news.
Me too. I can't watch the news. I'm way too sensitive. 2 reasons. Because we do videos where we talk about world, things that happen in the world, and that messes me up. I can't have any extra information because it messes me up to get the information from the spirit, because you don't want to know too much about something. If I know too much about somebody or something, it's hard to bring through validation. But that's a good point you made about manifesting. It's very true. What we focus on, whether we want what's happening in front of us or not, if we focus on it, we can keep creating it. So it's important to, focus on things that, even if it's not happening in front of you, you focus on things that you want, like, with images in your mind, use your imagination to see things the way you want them, and then you can create it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what everything, my book, everything, my workshop, everything I'm doing is about. Like, it's just I keep reinforcing it. And even though I do it and I want to share it for other people, and I want to do it, I'm doing it for myself. more than anybody else, because it's a constant practice that helps me, enjoy living this life, right? So it's like, I really want to do it for me first, and then whoever else I could share it with, which I know is what you're doing with your work. It's fun. It's good to be contributing to the world in positive ways, I think, and having you and knowing, it just brings such a level of comfort when you get to talk to a loved one who's passed on and they say, I'm good. I'm here with you. Yeah. I love you. I'll see, we're going to be together again. In fact, we are together. You just can't see me, but I'm here, it just makes you feel like, oh, it's not like, when you die, a lot of people think, oh, that's it. It's the end. It's done. I'm never going to connect with that person again. And I think that makes it so painful, that this is just a temporary experience that we're having right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is that our loved ones don't go anywhere. They just change frequency. They just don't have the physical anymore. It's a different frequency. Everything's energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just changes form. That's all that happens. And they're always around us. Always. Matter of fact, TC, I have to tell you,
TC's my sister. TC's Tony Capri. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So I said it like that because when I first was talking to your other sister, right? And I said Tony, she had said in my mind, she said TC, like she was correcting me to make sure I said it right. It was just funny how she did that. And she's got a firm, like, this is what I like, and this is what you need to do.
My dad would call her that all the time. TC, hey TC, and then Sam would sometimes. I didn't as much. I always called her Tone. Yeah, I like shorten her name, Tone. Yeah, Tony, Tone. But she let my dad TC. TC was her thing. Yeah, and it's just so funny that she would say that to you. Every time I picture her, she's in a red T-shirt and jeans every single time. Because she loved it. So that's how she shows up in my mind. Because I always loved how cute she was in her red T-shirts and jeans, and she always loved it. She always loved that look. So that's how she always shows up for me. That's how I see her. Right. So it's
right. And they really do portray themselves. It's not like just you seeing that. She's really portraying herself like that to you.
Yeah.
Because it helps you see her, because it helps you feel her, see her, and know she's there. And they do that with other family members. And those who can't see their family, there's a wall of grief, if it's just recent, that kind of blocks that at first. But eventually, as you heal, you'll be able to, feel them around you. So, they don't go anywhere, and they do absolutely try to communicate as much as possible.
Oh, she does all the time. She frickin' sends us messages constantly. We found a card from her on the date of her death with her picture, and you open it up and it's her handwriting, and she says, I just want to say how thankful I am for my family and how much I love you, on the anniversary of her death. And we were freaking out. Come on, like that was just the craziest thing ever. So Ginger, we only have a few minutes, so is there anything that I didn't get to cover that you want to share with us that you feel is important, or and let us also let everybody know the best way to reach you and connect with you if they want to have a session with you?
I do sessions I don't think we mentioned this. I do them by Zoom. I have different ways we can connect. So it's not just one way. We can do it by phone, by Zoom, by Skype, anything that's convenient for the client. And then, it's just Ginger Bayley, psychicmedium.com. Go to my website to schedule an appointment if you like, or just read the website. There's things that you can read on there. I also have videos on my website of me channeling. I'm channeling Erik. So you can do that too. The only other thing I could think of is that I'm just so thankful to be on your show. Thank you so much.
Oh no, I love it. I love talking with you and everything. And if you want to watch her do her channeling Erik, it's really interesting. So you have a few examples on your website that people can see you and see how you do it, and some of the subjects that come up, because you and what's Erik's mom's name again? I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
It's okay. It's Elisa.
Alicia. So you guys talk about like all these like subjects, everything that's going on too
everything.
in the world, and it's been like in the news and you know, all that kind of stuff. So the topics vary greatly. So it's really interesting for people to see that you're doing it with spirit, which is really kind of fun.
Yeah, we interview celebrities that have passed.
Yeah,
we interview
that's
celebrities.
true.
They have so many on there, you know. We do live
I think
shows.
my sister said you guys did, or she did Lisa Marie Presley recently or something. I think. I think she told me that.
Yeah. She's on there. Yeah, and then on the live shows, people can ask questions and we answer them for free. You just like go on the live. It's like a live YouTube, and then Lisa will read your questions, and you don't have to pay anything. It's just free, and we answer it. We do live shows, like 3 of them a month.
Fun. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah,
and
that's good.
The link is on the page where the videos are on my website. The link to channelingerik.com, the YouTube channel's on there too. So.
Oh, okay, great. Well, that's good for people to know. So so you guys check her out. Go to Ginger Bayley, Bayley, psychicmedium.com and see all the stuff that she's doing. Ginger, it was so fun talking to you. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Fun. Yeah.
I know.
I loved it.
Me too. Well, I love this stuff. I've been into this since I was a teenager, going to the metaphysical stores and buying books. I think the first book I read was like Edgar Cayce, like on that whole thing. Yeah. And I was like 15. So this is definitely in my wheelhouse. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Guys. Check her out and go and sign up for my workshop, Manifesting Through Gratitude, a Visual Journey at finduniquelyyou.com. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. And I'm wishing everyone a wonderful week filled with joy, abundance, and love. Peace.